April 13th, 1970. Three astronauts are 200,000 miles from Earth. Then an explosion rips through their spacecraft, and NASA has less than 4 days to bring them home alive. This is the true story of Apollo 13, a mission that was supposed to be routine. NASA's third trip to land astronauts on the Moon. Nobody expected it to become one of the greatest survival stories in the history of space exploration. 3 astronauts, Jim Lovell, Jack Swigert, and Fred Hayes. Their goal, walk on the Moon. What actually happened would change everything we know about space travel. The mission launched without any major issues. For the first 2 days, everything went according to plan. The crew was over 200,000 miles from home, closer to the Moon than to Earth. Then, on the third night, Mission Control asked the crew to perform a routine procedure, stirring the oxygen tanks. What they didn't know was that one of those tanks had damaged wiring, a flaw that had gone undetected for months. The moment they flipped the switch, the spacecraft violently shook. Warning lights filled the cabin. Jack Swigert radioed back one of the most famous lines in space history. "Houston, we've had a problem." An oxygen tank had exploded. The crew watched in horror as their oxygen levels dropped and their electrical power began failing. They were now hundreds of thousands of miles from Earth, in a spacecraft that was dying around them. The mission to land on the Moon was over. Now the only goal was survival. The command module was losing power fast, so the crew had to move into the lunar module, a small spacecraft designed to support 2 people for 2 days. Now it needed to keep 3 people alive for 4. Carbon dioxide levels began rising to dangerous levels. The air filters from the command module didn't fit the lunar module system. Engineers on Earth had to invent a solution, using only the materials the astronauts had on board: plastic bags, cardboard, and tape. Thousands of engineers worked around the clock. They built a working replica of the exact same materials available in space, testing every possible fix. Eventually, they found a way to adapt the air filters and radioed the instructions to the crew. Meanwhile, temperatures inside the spacecraft dropped near freezing. The astronauts had almost no food, barely any sleep, and were forced to ration water to prevent dehydration and equipment failure. Using the Moon's gravity to slingshot back toward Earth, the crew had to perform a series of precise, manual course corrections, without their main computer, using only the stars as a guide. On April 17th, 4 days after the explosion, Apollo 13 re-entered Earth's atmosphere. For several minutes, all radio contact was lost, a normal part of re-entry, but for those watching, the longest minutes in NASA's history. Then, contact. The capsule appeared in the sky. Parachutes open. All 3 astronauts were alive. Apollo 13 never landed on the Moon, but it became known as NASA's successful failure, proof that human ingenuity could overcome almost anything, even 200,000 miles from home. If this story amazed you, subscribe, because every week we explore the most incredible true stories and facts about our universe. See you in the next one.